Oh my God, we're live. I'm not even going to introduce you, although you are looking a bit pixelated. I'm just going to have a quick look, Jen, on Facebook to see whether or not you look pixelated on there as well.
It's my best look. Pixelation is my best look.
Oh yeah, you're looking a bit pixelated on Facebook as well. So I don't know what's happened there. So anyway, I'm sure it'll clear. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because if it doesn't, then we might need to get you to go out and come back in again. So because you're looking like 320 DPI, and I know Jen is definitely an high definition 1080p kind of bird. So why don't, seriously, literally before, because there's nobody in yet, why don't you go out and come back in, see if we can get a different connection, because you are really mega, like, it's like a blur at the moment. You look like something off a Crime Watch right now.
Right, I'll go and I'll...
Right, Jen's just disappeared. She's going to come back. She was like mega pixelated on the screen. So she looked like somebody off a Crime Watch on a CCTV camera. That was up to no good. So she's gone out and she's going to come back in again. That gives me a chance to have a slurp of the beer and say good evening, Coach's Couch on a Friday. So Sandy, lovely to see you. We've got Sandy Doyle here. I'm sure we're going to end up with a few people in. Do say hello, and any questions while we wait for Jen to come back. If you don't know this lady, I promise you're in for a treat. She is a bag full of happiness and positive energy, which is why I was so interested and keen to get her onto the Coach's Couch. So she is definitely one of life's good people. Oh my God, it looks like the dog's coming in to say hello. Change his mind. Yeah, she's definitely one of life's effervescent, bubbly people, and I'm sure we're going to be in for a good conversation. If nothing else, I'm really keen for her to share some information about her rowing and what all these bulls, coxes, and everything else and crabs have to do with business, because I know she does a networking talk about it, which is really good. So look, she's disappeared, and maybe she's not coming back. Here she is. She has come back. She decided to come back. Ah, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, better.
I can smell your deodorant and everything now. That's
I put some on especially.
I was just talking about how wonderful your energy is, like, you know, which is why I was so keen and excited about getting you on. So, because in all honesty, I know I could just ask you a question and then just sit back, because you just, you know, I see you in that little box for the first 5 or 6 weeks. It was kind of twice a day, wasn't it? When we went from 4N off to 4N on, and then we managed to get, we're kind of once a day now. And but I don't think there's been a single time when I've come on those calls where you haven't been just this kind of tsunami of just smiles and positive energy, and you're just one of life's just effervescent kind of people. And I know underneath, I'm sure you have your moments. I can't ever imagine you losing your temper or getting angry. You like, just look at that face. Like, how can you get angry with that face? So it sounds like I'm flirting. I'm not. Well, I am, but only because of how just bubbly and effervescent that you are. And I just think that, you know, when people are struggling, you're the kind of person that you want around you. So, you know, because you know what it's like. It's tiring. People feed off it, don't they? They feed off your positive. So I think, because there'll be people that are watching that are in my network that won't know who you are. So I think probably a good thing to do while I'm going to sup on my beer, and you can drink your Earl Grey or whatever it is you've got there. So your tea, your northern tea.
Friday night rock and roll.
Yeah, I think probably a good thing is for you just to tell people who you are and what you do and why you were stupid enough to come and sit on my couch. over to Jen Hinds.
Well, the reason that I'll start from the end. Oh, you've gone. You've disappeared.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here.
All right. Okay, that's really spooky. The reason that I've agreed to come and sit on your couch is, if I can find it, is because I'm part of you see that? Ian Jackson.
My God. Yeah, you're embarrassing me now. So, yeah.
Oh, hi, Sandy. Sandy's just popped up. Yeah. So obviously it's a dream for anybody to come and sit on your couch, Ian. So when you invited me 3-4 weeks ago, so it's absolutely a no-brainer. In terms of who am I, it's a very good question. So Jen Hinds, my current company is Always Awesome, spelled OARSOME. I don't know if it shows on Facebook that, but it's on.
Yeah, that's all comes up on Facebook.
The reason for that is it's a rowing-based business. Rowing is something that I was introduced to thanks to For Networking, the amazing networking organisation. Prior to that, I'm just giving you a bit of in a nutshell at the moment. Prior to that, my business was marketing and communications. I'm just waving Steve Baker now. Marketing and communications, which I've done for about, I'm going to say 25 years. I've been saying 25 years for about 25 years, but it's surely not 50 years. Oh, there's Janet. Yeah, so that was my business prior to that. That's what I was doing when I joined For Networking, which was about 10.5 years ago. Running my own business since 2005. Prior to that, I had a proper job with an insurance company in the marketing and communications department. I headed up their marketing and communications in Paris. How amazing is that? So I lived there for a while. Hey, Dan Ackers. It's really annoying when people are chatting, especially if you're watching on catch up, isn't it, when you start saying hello to people. Yes, so yeah, I worked for an insurance company in the marketing department. Prior to that, I worked for Walker's Snack Foods as a sales development rep. Prior to that, I worked in a ski resort as a chalet rep. And prior to that, I worked as a person that showed people around a match factory in France. Prior to that, I probably worked in the post office on a Sunday. That's probably kind of my life in a nutshell, I think. The worky bits, anyway. I feel like I'm in here on my own because I can't see you anymore, Ian. Oh, there you are.
I'm here. Don't you worry. So things you love to do. So what gets you up in the morning, fired up, and with that big smiley face? What do you love about your work?
Do you know what? This is going to sound really cheesy, but I don't care because it's true. I just love life, and I'm so lucky and blessed with happiness, I'm going to say, that it's rare that I would get up and not be looking forward to the day, because I love the song, the Take That song. I'm a bit of a Take That fan as well. There's a song, Today This Could Be the Greatest Day of Your Life. I won't sing it just yet. I might when I've had half a cup of tea.
Caffeine.
Yeah, I might even play my ukulele at that stage.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, today this could be the greatest day of your life. And I just think if you wake up in the morning thinking, no matter what you've got planned, today could be the greatest day of your life, because you've no idea what's going to happen during the day. And I kind of try and wake up with that attitude. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do in general. But to answer your question more specifically, I adore rowing. I adore anything to do with rowing. So if there's a chance that I can row, which I haven't had the chance since March the 23rd or whenever it was, but that I absolutely adore that and anything to do with that. But I really love what we're doing. And you mentioned earlier what we're doing together with another fantastic team with For Networking. Just what we've done over the past, I don't even know how many weeks it is, but from turning what was a great organization but into an amazing online organization, it's just incredible, and it's so exciting, and the people that we're working alongside are they blow my mind on a daily basis. So
I think that they should put in a dictionary under the word pivot, they should actually put what ended offline to come online, because it's a bit, it's one of those fucking out of the box types questions, pivots, onboarding, all of this sort of terminology that furloughing, all of these terms. I genuinely think if you want a good example of somebody or something being pivoted, what ended in. I remember the very first meeting was, is this a thing? Like, is this something we could actually do? Will it work? And then the first week was just mad, like completely mad, and nobody really knew. It was a classic, actually. Storming, forming, norming, performing. I've seen it go through all of those 4 boxes, like classic. But every day when because my kind of role is to sit on the outside and look in. And I look at all the little boxes, and part of my remit, between you and me, because he's not, the boss isn't on, part of my remit is to see dead people and look out for people that are struggling, and look out for people that are saying they're fine but they're not. and I almost like it worries me because you never look like you are. So because you're always like that, it's just like you're thinking you should be selling those tablets, whatever it is that you're taking, you should definitely be selling them. So yeah, it's been an amazing, and that's the great thing, isn't it? Say that again.
We'll do the sales pitch for those tablets later.
Yeah. But that's the great thing to be in, is actually, I did say on one of the calls, it's a privilege to be there. And I feel, completely humbled to be on that bus and watch what you guys have done and achieve. So you've gone really, like, you've become on the whole, like, we need to get you on Crime Watch again. I can hardly see you. So, but I know that you're there. So, So what's been the biggest challenge for you then on the transition? That's a really interesting question. So what's been
Can I just share this? I could just see what Janet's just said. So I'll share that.
Have you been prepping for today?
That's it. You've got all my assets already in the first 12 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, what was your question? I was listening.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
So what's been the biggest challenge for you on, in the cog that the big cog that you've been over the last 6-8 weeks with 4N getting online? So bearing in mind that people might not know, there is this week they reckon there's going to be over 1,400 people booking meetings this week. It's like, it's mind-blowing 1,400 people in a week. So that if you're thinking about herding cats, that's just an incredible thing. So what's been the toughest thing for you, because you're always smiling and you're always sort of getting on with it?
Do you know what, I honestly don't know. It's weird. It's because I think we've all been just so focused on the task in hand, whatever it is. Earlier, I was looking for something in one of our for networking team members' Facebook groups, and I was just flicking past, and it went back to March when we first did it. And some of the things that we were talking about that we had to do and the team has had to do, it's just phenomenal how far we've come. And if I think back, I mean, at the time, the first few weeks were just mad, and I think we were putting in probably 20-hour days each, 7 days a week at the time. So that was probably challenging. But again, Oh, have I gone? Oh no, here I am.
No, you're
just
there.
Focused on the job in hand. I don't know. I guess I always struggle. It's like on the calls we say, "What's the worst part of your week?" And they ask me what's the most challenging. I always struggle with that for some reason, and it's not because I can't think of anything, but I genuinely can't. But I think it's just. I think the end of each day, just look back. Am I pixelated?
Yeah, no, you are very pixelated, but that's absolutely fine. Everyone can hear you loud and clear. I think this is a really good question to have asked you, because this is why, I say this thing that every morning, every human being gets up with bad eyesight. Every single day, every human being gets up with bad eyesight. And by the side of the bed are 2 pairs of glasses. There's a pair of glasses that have got shit on them, and there's a pair of glasses that are rose tints. And you put the rose tints on every day. And it's no wonder when I say to you, what's been the toughest thing? You say, tough. I don't really know what's been tough. It's just been a ride. It's just been one of those things. So, but because what's coming at you is the same, it just depends how you see it, how you perceive it. So
I think, and I'm absolutely not immune to feeling stress or feeling, challenged. But I think what I'm good at, what I've learned, and I probably haven't always been, but what I've learned to be good at, and it's thanks to working with many people in for networking, Brad Burton included, massively in fact, is if I'm feeling challenged or stressed, deal with it then, but then kind of move on quite quickly. So my mind then just gets rid of it. So then I struggle when people ask me that question. It's like, oh God, I don't know. And that's not to say I haven't been stressed over the past 5 weeks, but right. But yeah, I think you kind of can train yourself, can't you? You can train your head.
It's 7:15, so for me that's past the watershed. So let's talk about balls, cocks, and crabs.
Oh, my favourite subject.
I've not seen the full. Have I seen the full course? I think I've seen your.
Yeah, you when I did a part of working lunch.
Yeah, it was the working lunch. Yeah. So let's let our viewer know why you're so engrossed with balls, cocks, and crabs.
It's a Every girl?
Yeah,
No, I'm just.
yeah, share. So it's really interesting.
So balls, cocks, and crabs are all rowing terms. Obviously, I don't know why people, get so excited by the title balls, cocks, and crabs. But yeah, it's. I obviously am passionate about rowing, so I love talking about rowing. I'm also passionate about business, and I have a business background, and obviously, for networking is a business environment. So it was a no-brainer for me to come up with a talk that included rowing metaphors, which is kind of what my talk on balls, cocks, and crabs is. So do you want me to talk about the actual specifics of?
Yeah,
Of
what does it refer to? So
right,
we got plenty of time, unless you've got a paper round. We're fine at the moment. So.
No, absolutely fine. I have got my Lycra on underneath this just in case I get a chance to go on my bike later, but don't judge me on
listen, don't. My wife's watching. You're going to get me all excited. So
I've done it. So balls. So I row in rowing. But I guess, do you know what? I so suffer from squirrel syndrome. If I see something to read, I read it and stop talking.
oh my God, I'll turn them off.
No, feel free to keep them on. That's fine. Oh, hi Sam. No, I'm kidding. I row. I compete in racing boats. So they're long, narrow boats, and at the end of them, the front of them feels like the back because you row backwards. You have a bow ball, which is a rubber ball, and when you race, it's when the bow ball crosses over the finish line is when you've won the race, or that's when you've finished the race. And obviously, if your bow ball goes first, then you've won the race. So the balls analogy, if you like, is goals, because if you're in a boat, if you're competing in a boat, your overall goal is to make that boat go faster. So your goal is getting that bow ball over the line. So that's the spurious link to that, so that I can then talk about goals. And I often refer to the book Will It Make the Boat Go Faster, which wasn't written by me. There is a book coming out of me somewhere. It's on its way up. It's bubbling away. I've got loads of notes on Google Docs. Anyway, so this wasn't my book. Will it make the boat go faster? And they talk about 4 levels of goals, and I love them, especially because the first one's called crazy goals, and anything with the word crazy in it is great.
I'm getting my pen out here, Jen, because I don't know this. So crazy goals, go on.
So crazy goals are those big, massive goals so in the book, it was written by a guy who went on to win gold at the Olympics in rowing. So their crazy goal was to win gold at the Olympics. So it's crazy because not many people achieve gold at the Olympics. So it's a big out there goal. So a goal that I often refer to when I'm doing this talk is, now more than ever, pretty much anyone in business could, if they wanted to, but they don't have to, could have the great goal of creating an online global business, because crikey, it's never been easier, especially if you're part of something like for networking online, because I was in a meeting this morning at 10 o'clock. It was called the Welsh Nation meeting. It had 25 people in the room. There were people from 5 countries there. There was Wales and England, there was Thailand, there's Portugal, and there was Belgium. And the person from Belgium was actually German. So actually 6 nations are represented. And that's in one meeting that cost me £6. It's just incredible. So if you have an offering that you can do online, it's so easy to get global. So that's just an example of a crazy goal you could have in business, is have an online global business. Next after that is the concrete goal. So to achieve gold in rowing, you need to be able to row, for example, 2,000 meters on a rowing machine in something like 5 minutes, 18 seconds. And that's what you have to achieve to be in with a chance of being able to compete at Olympic standards. So it's about thinking, what do you need to be in with a chance of achieving an online global business? So that could be what resources you have. Again, it's so easy. You just need one of them, a webcam with a microphone, internet connection, possibly one a bit better than mine if I'm still pixelated. Have I come back yet?
No, you're still pixelated.
Oh no. Can you hear me okay though still?
Yeah, the audio is fine. So
okay, good. So your concrete goal is what you need to have in place for you to be in with a chance of achieving your crazy goal. So that's the second level. The third level is the control goal. So that is, I can see my website going across the bottom. I'm very easily pleased. The control goal is things that you control. Obviously, there's loads of stuff in life that we can't control. Right now is a great example. We can't control the virus. We can't control when we're going to be allowed to go out and get back to normal, whatever normal will look like. But there are things that we can control. Same as in rowing, you can't control the weather, but there are things that you can control. So in terms of your crazy goal of having an online business, things that you can control are how much marketing you do, how often you show up and network and connect with people, etc., etc. And then the final goal are your everyday goals. So that's what you do every single day to nudge you closer. And that's where the phrase, which I love, will it make the boat go faster? Because you can apply that to anything and everything. So what you're doing right now at this moment in time, is that going to make your boat go faster, or is it going to make you get closer to your crazy goal? And that I love, because you can be flicking through Facebook, paying attention to nothing important. That's probably not going to make your boat go faster. Is sitting here chatting with the amazing Ian Dixon going to help make your boat go faster? Yes, it is. Did I mention, if you didn't see this earlier, I'm a bona fide member of the Ian Dixon fan club.
I'll end up blushing, don't. So.
So yeah, literally everything. So in the book about rowing, it's if you go to the pub and drink 10 pints, is that going to make your boat go faster? Probably not. But if you go to the pub, spend some time with your crew, relaxing, that probably is. So 4 levels of goals, I love them. Crazy goals, concrete goals, control goals, and everyday goals. So that's balls for you. That's me talking balls. I talk balls a lot, but that's the specific reason I talk about balls.
Right. So we're going to come back to crabs. We'll come back to crabs. So here's the thing. So when I first started this job I don't even like saying it out loud now, but in 2004. So I genuinely I wasn't congruent with the process. So like I was taught that it all worked, and I started working with clients, and for about maybe even as long as a year, I wasn't using or doing the crazy goals and the 90-day plans and working out and then coming back and all of that kind of stuff. And it was only really once I started seeing results from clients, and I can remember my coach saying to me, well, which 90-day plan do you use? Why don't you share that with them? And I said, well, actually, if I was to be honest, I'm probably not doing it. So, and to hear somebody else, especially when it's relative to a sport, for example, it puts it into context and it makes complete sense. And I've always said, because the other side of your work, of course, is to be able to help and support business folk. It's not just about, one of the things, of course, is you take them onto the water, because that's where the metaphor is and where the learning is. So, but I think, when you see somebody transition that across directly to a sport and see it working, then it all makes sense. And I wish they'd done that with my training, because I think I would have been more likely to have embraced it right off the bat. So yeah, and it's just good to see some different labels on some of these things. I call them hugs, the crazy goals. I call them hugs. So huge, unbelievable goals. So
I love that, Ian, because I love hugs.
Yeah, hugs. So everybody loves a hug. Nobody wants to be setting goals, but we all love a good hug. So and I use the word unbelievable in as much that it has to be that kind of extreme. You kind of want to set yourself something so far out. You think there's no, if I could get that, there's hugs all round, that kind of thing. So anybody that's worked with me, Carol's on here, she knows we're year goals and beyond. I've always called they're the equivalent of your crazy goals. So.
I love that. I'm going to use those next time I do a foresight, but I will credit them to you. Don't worry.
Oh no! Well, listen, Brad steals my stuff all the time. You don't need to be worried about using it. I just make stuff up, and then when people start using it, I make new stuff up. So it's just like you just got to keep moving forward. So how do people like? So for example, if I come up north, I'm a big unit. Would I get in your boat?
Oh my goodness, yeah, you should see some of the big units we get in the boat. Yeah, absolutely. We have special tubs, we call them. They're stable boats that can take beginners. That's what I learned in. I was taught by my now business partner, Jill Laidlaw. She taught me how to row and got me absolutely madly passionate about it, obsessed with it, and we then launched Always Awesome together. So yeah, it's great. the thing with rowing is it's this kind of sport that you don't. I remember distinctly that I'd had a one-to-one in for networking, and somebody mentioned that they were going to do rowing in Warrington, which is where I currently live. And so I sent an email and I put, I think I'm too old and too unfit, but can you send me some information? So they did. They said, oh, you'll be fine. Come along on whatever day, something like the 15th of February 2015. I remember it well. So I went along, and I was younger than I am now, clearly 5 years younger, but I wasn't fit. But the thing with rowing is you can start, you don't have to be fit because it's quite a technical thing. So you have to learn the technique first, and then the fitness comes a bit more. You asked a really simple question, and I started banging on about rowing.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to get you on the couch, because I know I could sit and eat peanuts and drink wine and just let you loose. Like, you're just going to be off on one. You Northerners are all the same. Give you a cup of tea and you're off. So
it's got ginseng in it as well. So
oh my God. Right. I'm guessing, I'm just going to look on Facebook again just to make sure, but I've got a feeling that everybody, unless somebody wants to comment, you're really blurry to me. Now, is Jen blurry to everybody else? Let's just see, because then what we'll do is maybe get you to go out, because you were clear when you came back first time. The other thing is that I'm streaming live to YouTube as well, and I'm just wondering whether or not that's causing a problem. So it shouldn't do. I had Brad on last night, sat in his car, and you were as clear. He was as clear as day. So
I wonder, can I come in on my phone, because I'm on my webcam. I could come on my phone if that's might be better.
Yeah, Karen Murray says you are blurry. You're very blurry, and I think people should see you. So yeah, Barry's just put this up. So it looks like you're 1999. You know, so maybe. Yeah, come in on your phone, Jen. Let's see you. Yeah, and I'll talk about you while you're away.
Excellent. I'll see you in a bit.
Right. So well, you can see, right, even though you've not, this lady, she's a bit blurry. She's worth hanging about for. She has some amazing stories. I have shared at least an hour a day with her 5 days a week for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and she's been like this every single day, and there's been some massive challenges, and she's kind of right deep in the network, in the for networking network every day, dealing with challenges and problems with people that were in 4N offline coming across to online. They changed all the titles, and area leaders, regional leaders, group coordinators, they all got changed. The commission structure all got changed for everybody. The working with Eventbrite was different, and this lady has been like that every day. And she would definitely have, any other human being, I'm sure it would have got the better of them. And she's just been this amazing sort of ball of energy. I was really looking forward to getting her onto the couch to share, actually, because there's a lot of people that won't know who Jen is, and I think she's definitely a lady worth checking out. And connect. I've got her. She's got 2 websites actually, but this is her. Here she comes. So I need to be careful what I say. So that's it. There she is. Look, crystal clear. Like, geez, it's chalk and cheese. Chalk and much better looking now. So let's hope it stays that way. So right. So like, hopefully, I'm sure everybody will pop up now saying that you're crystal clear. I was blowing smoke up your cocks, actually. Just how bubbly and despite all the challenges that have been happening. Right, so let's talk about crabs. So now that you're back, and you are definitely in high def right now, so that's much better. So
I'm sorry, it was rubbish before.
Yeah, there you go. Look, there you go. See, it's all coming back. So right, so let's talk about crabs then. What have crabs got to do with business?
Well, everybody
and
gets
rowing, of course, and the rowing, of course. Go.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, now you can see.
Yeah,
me.
Can hear you clear. So
perfectly. Okay, so yeah, everybody gets crabs now and again, don't they? So obviously, I'm talking in rowing metaphor again. I often have a visual, but it's a visual on my computer, so I can't show you. But in rowing, you have your oars, which have spoons on them, which are a little bit like that, and you put your oar in the water and then you drive it through the water and pull it out again. Sometimes your oar gets kind of trapped in the water. If you watch the boat race, I think it was the women's boat race last year, I guess it was, somebody caught an almighty crab at the start. But anyway, it's when you get the oar caught under the water, and it's horrible because it sometimes hurts because it kind of twists your body around. It certainly stops the boat going fast. And it's something that you really, sometimes as well, it can get so caught it can flip you out of your seat. Thankfully, touch wood, that's never happened to me, but I have had crabs in the past. The one that sticks in my mind the most was the first time I was racing. It was in Nottingham on the River Trent, and I'd not been rowing that long, really, probably, well, a couple of years maybe, and I was asked to row in a boat with 3 far more experienced people who were very good at racing and used to win medals, etc. And I was in the bow seat, which is the seat closest to the bow ball. We've already talked about balls. So it was the front of the boat, feels like the back because you row backwards. So you're the person that's steering and shouting the calls and things like that. Anyway, we were racing. I could see that we were getting closer and closer to the opposition, and I was probably getting a little bit excited. I was looking behind me to see how far we were, and then I caught an almighty crab. Some crabs, you catch them and they just kind of jerk you a bit and you can pop them out. No way on earth was this going to pop out. So I had to basically call for the crew to stop rowing briefly, which is the last thing you want to do when you're racing for obvious reasons. But I had to do that. We kind of reset and then start rowing again. Didn't win the race, sadly. We may not have won the race anyway. However, we did get back into the race and we didn't do too badly. And the business metaphor there, because you can squeeze a business metaphor out of anything to do with rowing, believe me. The business metaphor there is that things do sometimes go wrong. And when that happened to me in that race, I could have done one of 2 things. I could have just attempted to carry on, but the boat is like putting brakes on. The boat had massively slowed down, would have probably ripped my arm out, which wouldn't necessarily be a good thing. So, or you can stop, reflect, reset, and then go again. And that's kind of the message, really. Stuff does go wrong. And we've talked before about challenges and stuff. We all face challenges. We all face stresses. Things don't go to plan in business all the time, whether it's things that are in our control or not in our control. But we just sometimes have to stop, reset, think about it, and then go again, either carrying on in the same direction or maybe changing course or something like that. So that's crabs. We all get crabs, and it's about how you deal with them that matters.
I just put a powder on mine and they go away. So it's like so,
but you see, if you did nothing about them, they'd be still troubling you now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, there's a very clever line from Sam: only tide will tell. So rather than only time will tell. So very clever. So what you did there, Sam, very good. Right. So obviously 4N's been all consuming over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks. And we talked before we came on air about, in fact, it was earlier, it might have been yesterday. It's all a blur at the moment. About your kind of your day job and your other work. In fact, your day job is 4N at the moment, but other work. I know for a fact that there'll be people that watch this broadcast that will want to work with you. So because of how like bubbly you are, just share with me, because that was one of the reasons why, you know, I said to you before we came on, even if it's just me and you, it gives me an opportunity to find out a bit more about who this lady is that's been in this smiley box every 6 weeks, every day for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Tell me a bit more how these people, you know, some of the products or services that you offer. In fact, let's take all of 4N away, and if that's all you did, so what is it that you do? Forget the 4N stuff.
So how could you possibly forget the 4N stuff? It's so amazing. However, so if we weren't in lockdown, it would be, my office is in a safety launch, which is like a speedboat on a river, coaching people how to row. And we also do some on land workshops as well, to do with teamwork, mindset, communication, all of the things that are essential in rowing that are very adaptable to business as well. So, but obviously we're not doing any of that at the moment. So outside, other than that, the things that I can do personally, I love running workshops. Again, that's kind of, although I was about to say something very limiting there. Again, that's not possible at the moment. Of course it's possible. It's just online. So Maybe one of my favorite workshops I used to run was a personal branding one, although I always wished I could find another name for it, but personal branding was kind of what it was. But it was all about helping people get to grips with their values, their passion, their visions, their belief, and then creating a business or adapting their business to be massively in line with that. I love that because people at the end of it would kind of see clearly and really get to grips with what they were passionate about, which is a wonderful thing to do. So the thing with your question is, what I would love, what ideally I'd now say, and I have one that's happening on the 47th of February, but I don't. However, having this conversation is making me think this is the kind of thing that I need to get back to doing when I come up for air. So yeah.
And
you're gonna tell me off in a minute.
Yeah, because both you, like there's nobody here, Jen. It's just me and you here. No one else is here. Right.
When
so
you do that, Ian, when you do that, talking shouldn't be allowed.
Here's the thing: is that there's two people being robbed right now. There's you, because I know what I love doing my own events, and I'm like, I maybe do one a year now. And I used to do one a week. And now because of all the other things that I do, I have to make time to do one a year for me, because I love seeing people book, for an introvert and somebody that is, I would say, reasonably grounded. My ego inside, when somebody books because they want to come and see me speak, just lights me up. I can't begin to tell you how wonderful it feels. It makes me feel accepted, appreciated, and it is lovely. So I'm not being shy to share that. So I do it once a year, and then of course it's those people that would come and enjoy and benefit from what you have to offer. So we, even if nothing else from today, if I could persuade you to get one in the diary, it would be such a good thing to do, because I know for a fact. And whereabouts are you based? That's probably a good thing.
Warrington, so it's between Manchester and Liverpool.
Right. So well, I've got clients up there who I know would support you, so without a doubt. We've got some crackling going on. I don't know if it's me or you. So can you hear it?
I can a little bit, yeah.
Right, there is only me and you in here, so I mean, there's people watching, but we shouldn't have any audio from them. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I can definitely hear it. Anyway,
technology is being kind to us tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. So just talk me through an all-day event then. So I'm guessing, is it an all-day thing you would do, branding, or what would be a favourite workshop?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, the live ones in real life is maximum of 8-10 people. There's usually food involved because I'm a big fan of food, and yeah, we go through various process, starting off with your values, because I think until you know your values, you can't really figure out anything else. So that's a big part, actually. And another thing that we do, there's some pre-work where I get people to get feedback from other people. It's all anonymous. It's brilliant. So I get contact details of 10 or whatever of their contacts. I email them an anonymous questionnaire that they respond to for that person, and I deliver the results in the workshop so they can work with what other people think of them as well. Yes, it is the Mersey. Do you know what? It's so tiny here, my eyes aren't that good, but somebody's just said, is it the Mersey? Yes, we're on the River Mersey. It's a gorgeous river.
So
sorry,
there's definitely it's definitely missing. There you go, look. So she's not biased in any, she's seen you in those little boxes every day. So hey, Pippa,
can I just tell you, Pippa Hodge is the most amazing woman I've ever met. She's just incredible, and it's a brilliant working alongside her.
Anybody that can spend 8 hours a day with Brad Burton
exactly.
is a rhinoceros. Let's be fair, has got the skin of a rhinoceros. I'm going to get Pippa on the couch. Pippa, I'm going to get you on my couch. And if I was to go to bed and fantasize, to have Pippa and Jen on the couch at the same time, is that an overshare or what? So But yeah, we'll definitely get Pippa on the couch as well. But today's about you. So, right. So this thing around, if nothing else, I'm going to get you to commit to doing a workshop of some description, and I'll support it. Like, you know, I'll absolutely do whatever I can to get you to get people in, because I just think part of the, I was coaching somebody today, and they're running like an online academy. And he was concerned about giving content away before he runs his academy. And I said, look, you can give content away all day long. People won't do anything with it. So they only do stuff with it when you help them unlock it. They often know what they should be doing. And then when you get them into an environment where you get all of that stuff flowing, which is like, you know, you can tell people that have spent some time with you on here, they'll know that you are good at, you know, bringing this fabulous energy into an environment. So who's a perfect person? Like you've got a gazillion people. All these boats are coming over the horizon right now with new business owners, people that have been furloughed. Like it's dead exciting. We need to get you back out there. And you know, I don't want to like pull you away from 4N. Geez, like we need to keep you in on the 4N stuff. But I'm just thinking about what it is that you have to offer. So
right, in June I will do a workshop. I can't read the comments. Now I'm on my phone. I'm having to do that. It's because I'm old.
Pippa said that she does deserve a medal.
Oh, well, yeah, she absolutely does. I've got hundreds of rowing medals. I'll give you one of my rowing medals, Pippa.
Yeah, so your workshop.
So I'll do a workshop in June, and I'm also writing a book called Balls, Cocks and Crabs. Get it in the right order.
Oh, my God. See, that ginseng's gone to your head, hasn't it? So you're struggling.
To tell you. Yeah.
So, so when's the book then? When do you reckon?
Oh, that'll be the 49th of February. No, it will.
This year?
Yeah, this year, obviously, yeah. Yeah, it's. I could show you, but it's on the phone, and now I'm on the phone. But I've got loads of notes that I just need to make into a book. Right.
So I've kept every feedback note that I've done for 14 years on my coaching. So like, I've got them all. And you know, it's all electronic, but I have literally have 15 years worth of notes. And that's part of the problem, is like going to all of that content and, you know, finding stuff to draw from. So right, so we've got the branding stuff, which I would imagine like drawing out brand from somebody or new brand or whatever it might be, I'm sure would be an amazing day out. The goal setting stuff around getting in the boat and the whole the crazy goals and all the other bits that you talked about, absolutely. Hugs. All right, you've stolen my hugs. Yeah, so everybody loves a hug. So what about other things? Do you have other products or services that you offer?
Well, as I say, well, not right now. Prior to right now, it was water-based stuff mostly, and we used to do some amazing stuff with Always Awesome, working with disadvantaged kids, which was just brilliant, because rowing's quite a therapeutic. I keep seeing. I wish I could read that far away. It's a really therapeutic sport, so it's really good for kids, people with learning disabilities and things like that. It's amazing. So that's kind of, those were the products that were all like water based. So, but I really should listen to myself and have some hugs. I do like that. Crazy goals, and get some online stuff going while we're still online, because soon we're going to be allowed out there in that big wide world on water and river and everything. And
my whole business changed when I started to take the same medicine that I was sharing with my clients. So like, I honestly, it did. And I know that you've been pulled away, and whether you sort of took that path because it was a way to go, or whether you were pulled in that direction and you've ended up in this all-consuming, just amazing transition that's happened over the last few months, is kind of irrespective. It was really more, you know, and like, I didn't share that with you before we came on, but I was determined publicly to out you and to like get you back into sharing what, you know, other products and services that you have to offer, because like I say, this whole thing about robbing to people and like yourself, because of the enjoyment and the pleasure that you get from being able to do things for others, you know, the whole pay it forward thing, and feeling blessed that people want to come and listen or learn from you. But also those that would benefit from it. So, so ideal clients. Then let's talk about your ideal client, so that we can make sure that we put a laser dot on them.
Are you talking? There is a weird sound thing, isn't there? Are you talking
Yeah.
ideal clients for this new thing that you're making me do now, or?
Yeah, I've been rumbled. Yeah. Listen, all you got to say to me is I'm quite happy in this space. I don't really want to do anything else. But I genuinely think that, like, it's kind of dropped off your radar, and that it's such a wonderful thing that people could benefit from.
Yeah. Yeah, and absolutely, I will do it, because you're right. It is something that I would like to do. Just to go back to something you said before in terms of pull push, there is nothing that I would have rather been doing over the past however long. Well, 14, no, not 14 years. I've not been involved 14 years, 10 and a half years, because I adore for networking, and it's been. I wouldn't have found rowing for a start if it wasn't for networking.
Oh wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was a 1-to-1 in Manchester City Centre. But it was a all you can eat buffet. It was my favourite venue. I know it's not about the food, but it was an all you can eat buffet venue. And I had a 1-to-1 with somebody who said that they did rowing in Warrington, or they were about to go and do a learn to row course in Warrington. And I thought, oh, that's that. And it was at a period of my life, well, all my life actually, until I took up rowing. Every year I've made sure I've learned something new, a new skill or sport or something. I've learned all kinds of rubbish over the past. And so I thought, oh, that could be the one for this year. So I enrolled, went along, and never looked back. So yeah, and as I say in my 40 seconds in 3D world, I often say that, you know, for networking, it gives me 90% of my business, 99% of my slighters, and I found the love of my life. And the love of my life is, of course, rowing.
Yes.
Rowing, yeah.
You cycle as well, don't you? I'm going to put the 4N banner up in case there's anybody that hasn't dipped in yet, because well, there is a strange crackling. It's almost like there's somebody slapping a kipper against a wall somewhere. So
that'll be, yeah, sorry, that's
it's a very strange noise, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not me, look, no hands.
So I've put the 4N thing up because obviously it's in all of our interest to, because if nearly 1,500 people this week have been to a meet like this, like a ridiculous number, have been into little squares on screens, and actually, you know, the number's growing because people keep coming back. So I thought I'll put the link up as well. Ideal customer. So like if like I'm pushing you again, but if for argument's sake you did put up, let me put you back up there again. If for argument's sake you did post up some kind of workshop or something, who would it be ideally for? Obviously, well, what would it be? A rebrand workshop? Where would you go
Not
first?
Rebrand. I still don't like the term personal branding, but I've worked on this for the years that I used to deliver personal branding workshops. I never found anything else really, but it's more personal branding. So it's not about branding. It's not about logos. Okay. Don't touch, nothing to do with logos. It's about your own personal values, your passion, and your strengths and weaknesses, and your goals. So we do talk balls, cocks, and crabs in it. I've just never used to use those metaphors because it was pre-rowing. So ideal client is anybody that's in. Oh, do you know what? I've just heard myself say when in my marketing days I would say, don't ever say anybody who, because nobody listens. You have to be really specific.
That's why I said laser dot. Get a laser dot on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I came on this call with you, Ian, and I didn't know that you were going to be eking this kind of stuff from me.
It's my job.
Yeah, but you know, I thought you told me we were going to have Barry White and stuff playing, and you know, it's just not what I expected at all. I'm kidding. People who are perhaps doing something that they enjoy but not doing something they absolutely love, and that feel that there's something missing, that they're not quite pinpointing something that makes them happy. Because do you know what, if you're in business or at work, you spend so many hours doing that, and if you're not happy and passionate and I share all that, you know, people often say to me, oh, you're always happy and blah blah blah, and I think a lot of people think that I'm I put it on, but I don't. But I share some of the techniques and the tips that that I've learned over the years, most of which I've learned through people which I mentioned earlier in 4 networking, which is why I'm so passionate as well about 4N, because I can see the transformations that people have because of it.
Yeah.
Ace.
So have you got any foresights coming up?
Yes.
So where can they come and get 20 minutes of you then?
I don't know, without looking at my phone, which I'm talking at right now.
Well, post it in the maybe post it in
Yes.
the feed underneath. So and this is the thing, because 4N's online now, geography's gone, so you know you don't need to be up Manchester, Liverpool way.
I'll be here when I'm foresighting, if that helps.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking at, well, I'll be talking at that or that. I think I'm doing one next Friday for the gorgeous Caroline Andrew Johnson. I think it's next Friday, but I'd have to check. I'm really disorganized in that respect. I'll be there, and I'll be there on time, but it will be somewhere hidden in that phone.
But I think that shows how busy you've been, you know, because you know this week, the last 8 weeks have been all consuming. You know, the days are well, I saw it today. It's just like, thank God it's Friday. How often? Well, it doesn't happen to me very often, but I was kind of working towards Friday this week to know that I'm going to give myself permission to just down tools over the weekend. So, and the thing is, of course, now with 4N Online, it's now you can go networking on a bloody Saturday and a Sunday. So
I know, who thought of that?
Yeah, stupid idea.
But you know, there are people that busy doing other stuff in the week that actually desperate, and in the offline world, desperate to network on a Saturday and Sunday, and that's really catering for them now. So
between me and you, Jen, because it's just me and you on here, my wife has fallen for you already. So she wants to meet you. So we were having dinner.
On the couch with Janet next time. Try to ask such difficult questions.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. If I've put you on the spot, then I've pulled you out of that lovely comfort zone. So because I've asked you questions about you, and you every time I see you and speak to you, it's always about everybody else. So, and I really wanted to get you to use this as a platform for you, really. So, and to be honest with you, a lot of this, you know what it's like with foresights. You're not selling anything, you're not giving anything away. It is about 20 minutes to get your personality and your style and your persona across, so that people can understand the type of person you are. They're not remotely interested in anything else. So, it's like, right. So I'll post this one out. I don't know if you can see it. So it's a problem. It says this is one of my clients, so that knows us both. If we put Janet and Jen together, it'd be like 2 people on speed. I think it's probably a bit like putting when you split the atom. I think that's probably an atomic bomb going off if we put you 2 in a room together. So
let's do it. Let's make that happen.
Yeah. So I think it would be a bit scary. It's like light the blue touch paper and stand back. So never return to an unexploded Jen is probably the answer to that. So yeah, it would be very interesting. So right. So we're coming up to the end of the hour. So we got Always Awesome on the screen. Do you want to talk about the jenhinds.com website as well, or?
Bearing in mind that I had noticed that that's fallen offline, you feel free to visit it, folks. jennyhinds.com, JENNYHINDS.com. It actually has information about an old personal branding workshop. So just imagine that online, and you've got an idea of what it will be like. But it is very much out of date. And thanks for making me publicly shame myself there, Ian.
Well, that's why I was asking. Is that it there?
Is it where am I looking?
Scrolling along the bottom.
Oh, I can't see that. Now I'm on my phone. I can't see that.
It says jennyhinds.com.
Yes, yeah, that'll be right then.
So that's the other one, which we talked about earlier, that it was down, so it needs updating. So, I actually said it needs a new pair of shoes and a frock, and you said so do I.
Talking about me, on the website. So it's got lots of information about my backstory there and stuff. So
right, so
photos.
I'm going to publicly say this: you're going on my bucket list. to come and sit in on one of your workshops or one of your events. Yeah, so like I'm putting you on my bucket list as something to do. So so
do it, because I would love to send a questionnaire out to people and see the responses about you before you see them. So yeah, let's do that. That'd be great.
And on top of that, if I travel up north, I don't just want to come and sit in a boat shed somewhere. I want to get out on the water.
Oh, definitely. Oh, do it. Honestly, it will change your life. It is the best. It's let me tell you, it's way better than sex. Way better than sex.
Well, I can't say let's do a comparison because my wife will be listening. So and actually clients and Pippa, and you know what a gossip Pippa is. So we probably, yeah, but
you know, she'll be on the third bottle of Prosecco by now. She'll remember nothing.
As soon as I said I want to get on the water, you just like lit up. So you obviously love being out on the water. Have you know Claire Brumby, don't you? So you know Claire Brumby, the swimmer.
I know of her. I don't know her. I've
right.
Yeah.
So she's a swimmer. So she hadn't been swimming, and she started swimming. Then she was swimming in pools. Then she went open water swimming, and then she swam the channel. So like she's very driven. She didn't drive, obviously she swam, but and of course she's not been able to swim. So you know she's not been allowed to go swimming. Is rowing one of the sports they're allowing back now?
Yeah, we've just had directive day before yesterday actually from British Rowing saying that they've given us a whole load of things to think of. But
you haven't got to wear a mask, have you?
No, we don't actually, but we do. We can only row in singles, which is in a boat on your own, which isn't part of one of the reasons I love rowing is the teamwork as well. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back in a. Well, the boat I've been rowing in recently is a double. So I row with my business partner, actually, Jill, and I love rowing with her. We row well together. She's far better than me, but that's why I enjoy it, because it's always good to row with someone. But in fact, that's another chapter in my book, rowing with someone who's better than you, because you learn so much more. Oh, I need my phone back so I can write that.
Yeah. Like, how often does that happen? Where you think of something, you think, oh, I need to write that down, otherwise it goes, doesn't it? So
yeah. So I mean, bike rides at the moment. At the moment, I'm riding my bike instead of rowing, and it's when I'm out and about, I think. And I'll usually take a photo because I'll see something and I think that's a chapter. So I've got about 376 chapter titles in my notes. I just have to write the fluff around it, and then it'll be done.
He won't mind me saying this because it's like 5 years ago now. But when Brad was writing Now What, we'd be having conversations on the phone, and I'd throw a story to him or an analogy of some description. He'd say, I'm fucking having that. And he'd be writing it down. And he'd get his phone out, and we'd be sat and having a curry, and he'd like, I'm having that. And then like 6 months later, he sends me a draft copy of the book. And I thought he was joking. And all these things that I'd been sharing with him, they're like popping up. And he asked me what my mum's name was. And I said to him, why do you want to know that? He said, just tell me what your mum's name was. And my mum is in his book. Because otherwise you forget, it goes, doesn't it? So, right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna make sure people nag you to get some kind of Jen event on, like I am. So, because not least for anybody else other than you, because I think we all need to have something that we can point at and say, I did that and that's mine. And I genuinely think that with the amount of effort and hard work that you've put into the 4N network over the last 8 weeks. Well, prior to that, to be honest with you, ever since you've been a 4N member, it'd just be nice just to have, it's that emotional bank.
2009, I got on the team.
Wow. So, I seriously, which is why.
Do you know what? Sorry, I've interrupted you, but I've always had loads and loads of fun. But you did say this was about me, so I'm going to chip in. I've had loads of fun on every single role I've done, but I've never had as much, never been as great as it is now. It's just so exciting and such an amazing team. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. And
that is, it's almost. I would agree that it's something that we've been talking about is that the energy and the quality of the meetings since we came back online have been 2009 kind of style. So because 4N, I think everybody's confident to say openly now, it was kind of losing its way a little bit. and become a bit sort of stale. It was still there, it was still strong, but it was kind of stale. And it's like somebody's got the things out and they've gazunked it, and it's like come back to life. It's so energized now. So the meetings are great. So
it really is. I remember when I first joined for networking back in 2009. I've just brought this up on the on my computer and it was distracting because I could see us there. And now I've brought up my certificate just in case anyone's new. Here's my certificate. Anyway, I remember joining 4N and thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I found this. This amazing organisation back in 2009, and obviously I've been with 4 Networking ever since. But and you kind of don't notice if that enthusiasm's dropped off from something a little bit. You don't notice it when it's happening, but now it's just like, oh my God, it's just like that again. And you asked earlier about getting up in the morning. It's so incredible what we're doing at the moment. I feel so lucky and blessed to be part of the team doing it.
I feel a little bit almost guilty that we've given them a big plug, and today really was about you. But you're a big part of me. But it's a big part of who you are, yeah. So I think it's more than an arm. I've met you. There's nothing of you, so I think it's probably a bit more than an arm. So an arm and a leg.
Muscles under here, though, yeah.
Right. So I want to close off. I want to kind of just give you maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes to maybe share to close out, like where they can find out about you, what you specialize in, and anything like. I guess we've just got in an elevator, and it's just like the classic kind of 40-second pitch. So, I think that's probably a great way. Anybody that stayed for the hour deserves
you deserve a bloody medal
and another glass of wine. So but to be honest with you, cold. So
oh my God, that was cold. I wasn't expecting that.
As a former policeman, that was the only way I ever used to drink tea, so it was icy cold. So
do you know what? I don't know if that was the first time. Sorry, we're finishing, aren't we?
No, we're fine. They're like, we're not on a time thing. It's just I was thinking about you as much as anything. So,
I'll say, I'll use this as my 2 minutes. Then here's my 2 minute pitch. First, I don't know if it was the first time I met you, Ian, but it was certainly one of the first times I met you was at it's Be a Better Speaker down in Taunton, wasn't it? And that's when I had no idea about your background and being a police officer, and that's when I learned about your background. And you talked about that. I talked about mine was called Reasons to be Cheerful, and I talked about the science of happiness and how important that is. And that comes into my personal branding workshops. You've disappeared again now. It's really weird when you do that because I feel like I'm just talking. Oh, there
I want to give you center stage, so it's like let you speak. So where can we find you then? So obviously we've got it scrolling along the bottom. Yeah,
in my office.
Yeah.
In a square.
4N. Pippa posted up. Just go to the 4N online website and
yes.
Search for Jen Hinds.
Yeah, and it shows you where people are foresighting. It's incredible. Do you know how long it took that website to be developed? About 2.5 hours. It's just James Blake play. What a superstar.
Yeah. So
and Pippa, because she's anyway.
And it like anybody that watches this later on that's never been to a 4M meeting, really, doesn't want to pay 20 quid to join. It costs you £5 plus VAT to go and watch this lady speak for 20 minutes. It's got to be worth £5 of anybody's money. That's like, a sandwich, the cost of a sandwich to see you speak. And
I even show in the foresight. I even show you photos of balls, cocks, and crabs. What's not to
like? No, so for the visuals in the room, if you want to see some balls, some cocks, and some crabs, then definitely, I don't think you need to sell pornography to come and see you speak, Jen. I think you probably did enough already. So, I'm a big fan, and I was really chuffed to be able to get you. Yeah. I'm sure you did, just to get, because you knew I was going to big you up, just to get me back a little bit. So, yeah. So I reckon if we can get you to commit to a date and a venue, that you know how it works. You run events, so all of these things, I know exactly. You go get a venue, and they say yes, we can do that date. You commit to that date, and then we're on, and then you post up something tentatively on Facebook or on Eventbrite, and then you go like that, and you just go like this, and you think hopefully some people are going to come. So
been doing that for 20 years. Okay,
right.
I will have a date by Monday, because I'm pretty sure the venue's available unless Zoom
yeah.
goes,
So that's cheating. So. But we will come and support you, but both virtually from a promotional perspective, and also I would jump in my Learjet and I would fly up, and I would come and sit in the room, because I think I've seen you do a 20-minute, but yeah, I think there'd be a lot to learn. In fact, I've got clients that I think that would enjoy a day of your energy, so I think that's the big thing. So thank you for coming on. It's just like it's been we made light of it over the last few weeks. It's like finally it's here and all of this kind of stuff, but genuinely I was excited about this evening. So I had
Me too. That was sign language, not official sign language, but
yeah, Janet's doing that at the moment. She's officially learning sign language. That's one of the things she wants to do while we're locked down. Yeah, so I'll talk about her for a second. I might put her on the couch actually, because there's a lot of things about Janet that people don't perhaps appreciate. She speaks fluent French, fluent Spanish, fluent finance. So she's a PricewaterhouseCoopers bird. So she so proper smart, and she got this crazy nutty bird, but actually if you see her on her languages, she's amazing, both from a fluency perspective but also with an accent. So she can be sort of misunderstood as being from another country when she's on one. So, and now she's learning signs, so something that she wants to do. So I haven't got a clue. I picked up that one. I know what that one means when she gives me that one. So or that one. So I got that one. So
well, she and I should do one in French.
Do you speak French?
Yeah, I lived in France three separate years. 3 years, but 3 separate years.
Yeah, she speaks. She lived in Paris, and she lived in Spain, and she went to Montreal as well, I think. Well, that was PwC. So yeah, I think that she kind of keeps it in her back pocket. So because I think people think that she's this crazy girl, but she actually she went to university. I didn't go to university. So you went to uni, didn't you?
I did. Well, I went to Polytechnic. I graduated from university. It's great.
Right, okay. So
same place.
Yeah. Right. Anything else you want to share before I let you go and put the kettle on?
I want to share about another 3 hours worth of stuff, but it is 8:10 on a Friday night, and I've had an absolute ball. I've really enjoyed it. Same time next week.
Yeah. So let's you be careful what you wish for. That's one of my sayings. Like, don't tempt me, so because we'll get you back again next week, like a regular slot. So I started doing something on the local radio down here. I did 2, and then the next thing I know, I get an email saying, "Can we do this every week?" So it's like you have to be careful what you wish for. Janet did one today. She's had an email today saying, "Can we do this every week?" So on the radio. So don't tempt me. I could have you back here every Friday, and I'm sure you could think of better things to do at 7 o'clock on a Friday. If nothing else, prepare for the hub at 8 o'clock and get in there and get drunk. So
of course, yeah, absolutely.
Do you drink alcohol?
Not anymore, really. I used to, and I have nothing against it, and there's no real reason that I don't. But I don't. A few years ago, my dad was ill, so I didn't drink so that I could drive here, there, and everywhere when needed. And then after that, I thought, you know what? I've saved loads of money. I save loads of time because I can drive everywhere. I'm really popular because I can drive everyone else everywhere, and I can get up early in the morning and row and not feel bad. So, and often people think I'm drunk even when I don't drink. So it kind of makes no difference.
You had that really sort of intoxicated kind of like, which is why I wanted to get you on. So I wanted more people to know who Jen is. So. Like I'm looking forward to seeing how many people I'm going to obviously be pushing it. We're live on YouTube as well as Facebook, so I know that there'll be some people watching. So right, so the best place to find you is Always Awesome or jenhinds.com, would you say?
Honestly, right now, the best way to find me is to pay £6 and come and see us at 4 Networking.
Oh, wow.
So seriously, because you can see where I'm foresighting, but I'm in loads of meetings anyway. But yeah, Jen at jennyhinds.co.uk. You can email me there. Both websites still work, so jennyhinds.com, alwaysawesome.com. Both will find me. Always Awesome is slightly more up to date. jennyhinds.com has more information about me personally, but find me anywhere. I'm everywhere.
They've all been scrolling while you've been talking. jennyhinds.com is up there at the moment, but all three of them have been scrolling away up there. So thank you so much for coming on, Jen. You know, it's like Friday night, it's 8:15. I'm sure you've got other things you could be doing. So I really appreciate it. Yeah. So I'll obviously be running this over the weekend again anyway. We'll run a, I forget what they call it on Facebook when you rerun a video. So, but we'll run it again over the weekend, and it'll go in my groups as well. So wonderful. No doubt I'll see you in a little box at 9 o'clock on Monday morning with that same smiley face. So thank you so much. And yeah, throw those pieces of paper away that you've had printed off. It was a terrible waste of ink.
Please. That's because I couldn't find my.
Yeah, that one you can keep. That one you can keep. That one there. I haven't really. I don't really want to go into detail today, but that one's had me in tears this week. Like genuinely in tears this week. I've got a friend, a client somebody who works for a client that's been diagnosed with leukemia, and it's really not looking great. So, and yeah, that. And she's a big advocate of my happy numbers. So yeah, so it's like that one really came home to me this week. So but yeah, the happy numbers is a big thing for me. So you can keep that one. In fact, I'll send you up some blue tack. That one can go up on the wall. So right, and Pippa stayed with us with her prosecco as well. I'm definitely going to get Pippa. I'm definitely going to get you on my couch. So
definitely do that.
We're definitely getting you on here as well.
She's amazing.
Yeah, like don't we know? So, and that interview day, I'm definitely going to get her on the couch because we'll talk about that interview day when her car broke down. So it's such a funny story. So you know what it's like at Taunton HQ, and you can't move a squirrel there, and she broke down literally outside the front door. On her way home, and like how embarrassing to go to a job interview and then break down. So she had a Saab, if I remember rightly. So yeah, that was dead funny. We'll get her on. We'll share that story. So anyway, today was about you. Thank you so much for coming on, Jen. Like wonderful. Made my week, and I look forward to catching up with you. And obviously I'll see you in a box on Monday. So and we'll speak to you soon. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you one day next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.